Welcome back to another episode of Characters Who Got Shafted. If you're new here, this is a series where I talk about characters who got the short end of the stick, either through promotion, story importance, lore relevancy, meta-relevancy, and community perception. Let's talk about the High Elder Imbibitor Lunai Dan Heng. Now, he was a very hyped character being hinted at all the way back in the first Star Rail trailer, and getting an amazing cutscene along with a killer theme song. Now, when Dan Heng released, he bent the meta over on its back, being able to output tons of damage at the cost of skill points. He was the best DPS through the entirety of 1.x, with characters like Jingliu only being better in certain situations. However, he had a pretty difficult time managing his skill points unless you had Bronya Eidolons, which not a lot of people had at the time, so it was pretty difficult to use him. 2AX came with Sparkle, who was Dan Heng's best in slot, as she made skill points such a non-issue, allowing for him to input even more damage, along with the release of Robin being a general DPS buffer who granted tons of crit rate and action advances. With Dan Heng being back on his throne as the best DPs in the game, what happened? Well, the follow-up team was getting up pretty quickly in the meta, offering a more SP-friendly alternative team that still outputs tons of damage, with Ratio being a free character that outputted tons of damage. Then came the release of Aventurine, making your team practically invincible and being best in slot in multiple teams, primarily the follow-up team. With Dan Heng being slowly removed from his throne, what happened that got him out completely? Acheron. Acheron happened, who completely shattered any remaining selling this game had left, and kicked Dan Heng off his throne as the best DPS. Then characters after him just kept bringing him down, from Boot Hill to Firefly to Fei Xiao. Even Yun Li causing Dan Heng's fall from grace. Now with 3.x we have characters now like Sunday, who also makes skill points non-existent and gives energy regen for his ult. It's not enough to compete with today's standards. He's now one of those DPs you should only build if you like him, and requires heavy investment to even keep up. And if you have Sparkle, you're best just using her with Archer, who is by far the better skill point hungry DPS. It's such a shame to see such a hyped character fall this fast and not even being able to get back up. But with the recent buffs to older characters and new version of Dan Heng coming soon, hopefully this Dan Heng can get a buff and be put back into the spotlight. Well, that's all for today. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you want to see next in this series, and thank you for listening to my Yap Sesh.